Welcome back to China Undercover. Today we dive into the heart of China's unfolding catastrophe, a nation battered by floods, scorched by heat waves, and chilled by summer snows. These are no mere weather events. In the lens of ancient Chinese tradition, they are harbingers of calamity, warnings of a regime teetering on collapse. From the deluged streets of Guizhou to the sweltering cities of Shandong, from political intrigue in Beijing to whispers of cosmic retribution, we explore whether these disasters signal the unraveling of CCP grip on power. Are these natural phenomena random, or do they carry a divine message about a nation in turmoil? Join us as we unravel the chaos, expose the CCP's failures, and probe the omens shaking China to its core. Before beginning the news today, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Challenge our views, and let's uncover the truth together. Cosmic warnings, snow in July, and ancient omens. Beyond the floods, China faces freak weather, scorching heat waves and summer snows. Shandong endured temperatures of 42.4 degrees Celsius, with Weifang hitting 40 degrees Celsius. At a July 5th youth music festival, attendees collapsed from heatstroke ambulances rushing to the scene. Firefighters sprayed water to cool crowds, but the heat was relentless. At Nanshan University in Yantai, students sweltered in dorms without air conditioning, relying on small fans blowing hot air. One student fainted, and a dormitory manager died of heat stroke, a death the CCP suppressed. They hide the truth to save face. A student posted their message censored. In a surreal twist, Qinghai's Kalian grasslands saw a July blizzard with snow half the height of car wheels.
Today, a man decided to try frying an egg with pure sunlight. The air temperature was about 42 degrees Celsius, 107.6 degrees Fahrenheit. He set a cast iron pan on the concrete, left it under the blazing sun for 2 hours, then poured in a little oil and cracked an egg. Within minutes, the egg turned golden, ready to eat. He is far from the only one. During this record-breaking heat, countless residents in northern China have filmed the same experiment and posted the clips on Douyin, China's version of TikTok. Some use a pan. Others simply break an egg onto a car hood or the pavement. The outcome is always the same: sunlight alone cooks the egg through. While local authorities report the air temperature at roughly 40 degrees Celsius, residents have measured ground temperatures as high as 68 degrees Celsius, 154 degrees Fahrenheit. Around 1 p.m. on June 24th, several spots in Hunan province recorded surface readings of 74.1 degrees Celsius. One newspaper even told of an incident in Gaojia City. Someone dropped an ant onto the road and it was roasted to death in under 3 seconds. The heat wave has produced other bizarre scenes. On 7th of July, a number of Changsha residents posted videos of their glass doors cracking and shattering solely from the heat. Meanwhile, concrete roads blistered and then split apart, images that reminded many of the city's tunnel flooding disaster back in the summer of 2023.
Yesterday was sunny. Today, snow collapsed our tent and froze a newborn foal a herder shared. Netizens were stunned. July snow. It's unreal. These anomalies, floods, heat waves, summer snow, echo the ancient tale of Du Yi, whose wrongful death in the Han Dynasty's injustice to Do Yi caused snow to fall in June, a sign of cosmic imbalance. Traditional texts, like the Book of Changes, warn that summer snow signals great mourning or national calamity with chaos in leadership and societal upheaval. In Chinese cosmology, the balance of yin cold dark and yang warm light governs nature. Summer should be yang dominant with warmth and growth, while winter is yin's domain. Snow in July suggests a profound disruption where yin overtakes yang unnaturally. The Tao Te Ching teaches that all things arise from the interplay of yin and yang. Imbalance brings chaos. Floods, droughts, and summer snow reflect a world out of sync, perhaps signaling divine discontent with human affairs. Systemic failures. The CCP's role in disaster. The CCP's negligence has amplified these crises. Official reports admit 329 rivers breached alert levels, Yet the true scale is likely worse, masked by censorship. In Rongjiang, locals blame dam releases for worsening floods. They opened the dams without warning, drowning our homes, a resident raged. The CCP's tofu dreg infrastructure seen in Yagi's collapsed buildings crumbles under pressure with bridges and roads failing across provinces. Censorship buries the truth. Posts about deaths or damages vanish from WeChat and Douyin. They pulled bodies from the mud, but the news says nothing, a Rongjiang resident whispered. The regime's inaction is stark. No senior leader has visited flood zones. Deputy Premier Zhang Guoqing, tasked with disaster response, toured industrial sites in Hubei on July 1st, ignoring the floods. They're too busy fighting for power to care, a commentator Li Linyi told The Times. Unlike predecessors, Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao, who visited disaster zones, Xi Jinping waits for waters to recede, appearing only for photo ops. He builds his image while we drown, a Henan farmer said. These disasters coincide with political upheaval. Signs suggest Xi Jinping's grip is weakening. Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission Zhang Youxia is reportedly consolidating power, defying Xi's orders, and purging his allies. The military is turning on Xi, a first in CCP history, a Beijing insider posted on X. Rumors swirl of Xi's fading influence, with factions led by Zhang and reformists tied to Hu Jintao gaining ground. The mysterious death of former Premier Li Keqiang in 2023 remains a stain on Xi's leadership, with whispers of foul play alienating party elders. If Xi ordered Li's death, it was a fatal misstep, a commentator noted. China is reeling from a deluge of biblical proportions, surpassing even the devastation of Typhoon Yagi in September 2024, which left over 100 dead in Hainan. From the south to the north, east to west, floods have ravaged the nation. Official reports admit that 329 rivers have exceeded alert levels, with severe flooding recorded from late June to early July 2025. Yet, as with all CCP statistics, the reality is likely far graver. These are not trickling streams, but mighty rivers, their waters unleashed across a land already stretched thin. In Rongjiang County, Guizhou, from June 20th, 21, rivers like Pingyongjiao and Duliu surged, submerging roads, farmlands, and homes. By June 24th, floodwaters reached the third floors of buildings, leaving residents in terror. It's like the world is ending, a local posted on X, sharing footage of the iconic village superstadium transformed into a lake. Changi Plaza, Rongjiang's largest mall, became a cascading waterfall swallowed by torrents. A second flood on June 28th obliterated recovery efforts, drowning the old town and much of the new. Rural villages remain cut off, with food and supplies scarce. We're stranded, starving, and forgotten, a villager cried. In Hanfeng County, Enshi City, Hubei, a July 1st flood submerged the city overnight, sweeping away vehicles and paralyzing infrastructure. A blogger witnessing his first such disaster wrote, "The streets are rivers. Cars are floating wreckage. It's apocalyptic." In Longlin County, Beisei City, Guangxi, a sudden deluge collapsed roads and toppled a 5-story riverside building into the raging current. Chengdu, Sichuan, saw over a dozen streets flooded with commuters paddling kayaks and the eastern train station underwater. In Liaoning's southeast, from July 1st to 4, cities like Dalian and Dandong faced record-breaking rains, with Dalian recording 146.5 mm, 1.2 times the monthly July average since 1951. 3 days of rain equaled a month's worth, a netizen marveled. The Sichuan Basin endured rainfall across 100,000 km², equivalent to 1/3 of Vietnam's landmass, with 70,000 km² classified as heavy rain, dumping over 14 billion m³ of water. It's like 1,000 West Lakes poured onto Sichuan in a day, a resident posted. In Yunnan's Wenshan City, a July 1st landslide buried vehicles, trapping 13 families. In Linxiang, a July 2nd flood halted high-speed rail and severed roads, leaving communities isolated. Human toll lives swept away. The human cost is staggering. In Rongjiang, mud-choked streets reek of decay with fears of disease outbreaks mounting. A resident shared on July 1st. The stench is unbearable. We're torn between needing sun to dry our clothes and dreading the diseases it might unleash. A farmer, Mr. Zhang, told NTD-TV, "My tea workshops, home, and fields were swept away. My family lived off tea sales, but now our machines phones everything. It's all rubble." In Sixia County, Henan, a June 30th flash flood killed at least 5. Left 3 missing and affected 6,000. Wooden Homes housing workers were washed away, leaving families shattered. Videos capture the horror: collapsed bridges, submerged cars, and bodies floating in murky waters. In Lishan County, Guizhou, a June 28th flash flood and landslide tore through residential buildings, leaving survivors shell-shocked. I saw bodies in the flood, but the news stays silent. A netizen whispered on X, their post quickly deleted. Rural communities remain without aid, their cries for help unanswered, as the CCP prioritizes image over action. China's internal power struggles overshadow disaster response. While floods devastate millions, Beijing's leaders are locked in a battle for control. They're more focused on Zhong Nanhai's intrigues than saving lives, a Hubei resident fumed. Recent U.S. China talks in Geneva and London hint at a rising moderate faction willing to negotiate where Xi resisted. Is Xi a figurehead with real power shifting to others? The silence from Beijing's top brass speaks volumes. The floods are not the only injustice. China's missing persons crisis, 1 million in 2020, including 200,000 children annually, with only 0.1% found, raises chilling questions. Despite a surveillance network with half the world's cameras and advanced facial recognition, the CCP fails to locate the lost. A fly can't escape their cameras yet. Thousands vanish. A netizen raged. Many suspect a darker truth: organ harvesting. Uyghurs, Falun Gong practitioners, and healthy youths are allegedly targeted for a gruesome trade. In May 2025, the U.S. House passed H.R. 1540 targeting organ harvesting from Falun Gong practitioners, signaling global alarm. Dr. Huang Tianfeng, a Taiwan-based transplant expert, said, "This is a crime the world can no longer ignore. These injustices fuel the cosmic imbalance." Traditional beliefs hold that unavenged souls carry heavy yin energy, disrupting nature's harmony. The million missing, the persecuted, and the flood victims crying for justice may be the modern deus, their grievances, summoning snow in July. The human toll lives buried in mud. The devastation is heart-wrenching. In Danba, 63 households, 133 people were evacuated from Sentru villages 1 and 2, but many remain stranded. A local woman shared, "Our village is safe, but the roads are blocked with boulders. We're cut off with no way out." Online netizens whispered of a darker reality. 4 people are still missing. No one can reach them. One wrote their post, swiftly deleted. Another posted, "I saw houses vanish in seconds, swept away like paper." It's terrifying. In Tantran County, officials reported 3 deaths, 2 missing and 2 injured, but locals fear the toll is higher suppressed by CCP censorship. In Yunnan's Yun County, a July 2nd flash flood obliterated livelihoods. Mr. Zhang, a tea farmer, told NTD-TV, "My tea factories, home, and fields are gone. My computers, phones, everything turned to worthless debris. This was our life's work." In Jida village, Kujing, a June 30th mudslide buried homes, leaving 2 residents missing. Videos show streets choked with mud, a bus half submerged, and a mangled car barely recognizable beneath the sludge. "It took 15 minutes for our village to drown," Mr. Wang, a local, recounted. "Water rose to 3 meters. We swam to safety, but my car was swept into the river. It cost me 200,000 yuan, and the crane to retrieve it cost more. There's no harvest this year. I don't know how we'll survive." A whining survivor who endured the 2008 Wenchuan earthquake said, "This mudslide was worse. The mud came like a tidal wave burying cars. At night we heard rocks smashing vehicles. It was chilling." A finance blogger noted, "Houses crumbled, walls cracked, and cars were entombed." This isn't just nature, it's negligence. The loss of homes, crops, and infrastructure has left communities reeling with no clear path to recovery. Official response: silence and suppression. The CCP's response has been predictably inadequate. In Danba, officials claim no casualties, but locals dispute this, citing missing persons and censored reports. They say everyone's safe, but we know better, a netizen posted on X, their account later suspended. In Ya'an, the transportation department cited ongoing rain as too dangerous for immediate rescues, imposing traffic controls and promising a temporary road by July 5th. Yet stranded travelers like Ms. Lee told a different story. "We drove 300 kilometers in 11 hours, passing 7 mudslides. Rocks fell, our tire blew twice. A Hong Kong race car driver helped us, but police led us to an unfinished highway. We spent the night in Jujia town, exhausted and scared." Tourist sites including Tentai Mountain, Pung Shi, Ancient Town, and Shiling Snow Mountain Waterfall closed due to geological risks. In Sichuan's Jiuzhaigou landslides on Highway 247, stranded tourists, some sleeping in tunnels. The road was gone, and we were trapped, a traveler shared. The CCP's focus remains on control, not aid, with relief efforts lagging, and social media posts about deaths or damages swiftly erased. They care more about their image than our lives. A Wenchuan resident fumed. Online reactions. Whispers of prophecy. The scale of destruction has sparked speculation online. Some netizens linked the Danba mudslide to a prediction by Japanese manga artist Ryo Tatsuki, wondering if his vision of disaster manifested not in Japan, but in Gansu. Is this a coincidence or a sign, one asked on X. Others saw the mudslides as omens, echoing ancient Chinese beliefs that natural disasters signal divine displeasure. Mountains collapsing, rivers raging. "It's as if the heavens are angry," a user commented. These discussions, however, were quickly censored, fueling public frustration with the CCP's secrecy. Human-induced catastrophe. The root causes. While nature's fury is undeniable, experts point to human activities as the primary driver of these disasters. Dr. Wang Li, a German hydrologist, argues that China's rampant soil erosion, among the worst globally, stems from reckless development. "These mudslides aren't just natural, they're man-made," he told Global Times. He identifies 4 key culprits: deforestation and land misuse. Steep slopes, loose soil, and heavy rain are a recipe for mudslides, but human actions amplify the risk. Deforestation, hillside farming, and careless construction increase runoff, destabilizing slopes. China's aggressive land use has stripped vegetation, leaving soil vulnerable to erosion. Shoddy road construction. In geologically fragile areas, road building often involves blasting mountains, loosening rock layers. In Sichuan's Wenchuan region, post-2008, earthquake roads were cut through unstable slopes left exposed without reinforcement. These roads invite landslides, Dr. Wang noted. Faulty water systems, irrigation, and pipelines meant to address water shortages often leak, raising groundwater levels. This weakens soil stability, triggering slope failures. In Danba, broken water pipes exacerbated flooding, compounding the mudslide's impact. Poor drainage. Inadequate drainage systems cause water to pool during heavy rains, adding weight to hillsides. When water can't escape, it turns slopes into ticking time bombs, Dr. Wang explained. Many affected areas lack proper infrastructure, a legacy of the CCP's focus on rapid development over sustainability. The saying to get rich, build roads first, has driven China's growth, but at a cost. Overdevelopment, ignored environmental limits, and shoddy construction hallmarks of the CCP's tofu dreg projects have left landscapes scarred and communities vulnerable. The CCP prioritizes profits over people, a Yunnan farmer posted. They build roads, but not to save us, only to exploit us. China's mountains are crumbling, its rivers overflowing, and its people suffering. The July 2025 mudslides in Gansu, Sichuan, and Yunnan reveal a nation betrayed by its leaders' negligence. From Donba's buried highways to Yun County's ruined tea farms, from censored cries for help to the CCP's deafening silence, the story is one of systemic failure. These disasters, amplified by deforestation, shoddy infrastructure, and mismanagement, are not just natural, they're a warning. Will the CCP address the root causes or continue to bury the truth with the victims? Share this story, demand accountability, and join us as we expose China's hidden crises. China's hidden crises.